Hey guys, welcome back to another excellent episode of Miss K Teaches Math. As always, I hope you guys are having a great day. Before we get started though, we have a special message, so listen up.
Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing all right. Just wanted to stop by Miss K's class and stay healthy, keep doing the best you can, and we will get through this, hopefully sooner than later. I miss going to school every day and seeing you guys. I'm getting a little bored here at home. Bye.
For those of you who are still following along in their table of contents, we are going to add 12.6 today, which is multiplying binomials. All right, so multiplying binomials. Binomial means two. So like bicycle has two tires. Binomial means that we have two terms. So what we're actually going to see are examples that look like this. We are going to be asked to multiply, let's say, x plus 6. And again, you'll notice it has two terms. It has x and it has 6. So that's why it's a binomial. And we're going to multiply this by, let's say, 2x, and let's do plus 4. So again, binomial times a binomial. Now, there are a couple different ways that you guys can multiply, and that's going to be up to you. So I'm actually going to show you both of them. So our first method here is going to be with a table. So a table. Now, if you want to use this method, please feel free to. I think your book assignment and the handouts I'm going to give you are actually going to give you the option. But again, you can use whatever method you find the most helpful here. And so this is what a table method looks like, is we're actually going to draw a table. So maybe something like that. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to break up the problem that we have. So notice here we have x and then plus 6. So I'm going to break that up and do x and plus 6 here. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with the second one. I have 2x and plus 4, so I'm going to put that on this side of the table though. So 2x and then plus 4. And what's happening with this table is that we're going to multiply. So we're going to multiply the two that make up this box here. So x and 2x. And so again, that's why it was good to practice those rules that we saw last week. So in this case, it would be 2 times that invisible 1, so 2, and then x times x is x squared. All right, we would do the same thing for this box. It would be 2x times 6. So 2 times 6 is 12, and then we keep the x. We would do the same for this box. 1x times 4, so 1 times 4 is 4, keep the x. And then in the last box there would be 4 times 6, and so this case would be 24. And so now what's happening is that we have these terms. We have 2x squared, we have 4x, we have 12x, and we have 24. And what I want to remind you is that everything that we've been working with has been an expression, meaning that we want to put in those signs. These are all positive values, so we're always going to put in that plus sign then. What's going to then happen is you want to simplify. Just like before, so look to combine like terms. You should see that you can combine the x's here. And so then your final polynomial here is going to be 2x squared plus 16x plus 24. And so this would be our product when we multiply our two binomials up here. So that is the polynomial that represents the product, or that represents the value when we multiply there. Let me go ahead and show you another method though. This is actually probably going to be a lot quicker for most people, and so our second method is going to be double distributive. And again, you can pick whichever works best for you, but I do want to give you guys notes and examples on both so that you have that. So let's take a look at the same problem just so you can see that we get the same answer. So x plus 6 times 2x plus 4. All right, and so how double distributive is going to work is that we're going to break up this first part. We had said that there's an x here, so we're going to take that x and we're going to distribute it to everything in the second term. So it's going to go to the 2x. So x times 2x is 2x squared. And then here, x times 4. X times 4 is going to be positive 4x. Okay, and again, we know it's positive, so let's fill in that sign, plus. All right, you're going to do the same with the 6 now. So that's why it's called double distributive. You're distributing the first term, and then we're also going to distribute the second term. So we're going to take that 6, and then 6 goes to the 2x, so 6 times 2 is going to be 12x. And then 6 times 4 is going to be 24. And again, I'll fill in that plus sign. All right, notice how I set mine up here is I lined up the x's. And the reason why I do that is so that I can easily combine them. I can see that they're the same. Now, you don't have to do that. You can write them horizontally like this problem. But again, just personal choice. I like to stack mine up here. All right, final step here then would be to combine all of these. So again, just kind of like we did with our systems, this is just a big adding problem. So I have 2x squared here. If I combine my x's, I'm going to get 16x. And then that last one is going to be plus 24. And so what you'll notice here is that your answers are actually the same. So whatever method kind of seemed to work better for you or maybe less time consuming, you can go with that method. But I'm going to go ahead and put up another example so that you can try, see if you get the answer, and then I'll go ahead and talk through it as well. All right, so here is your example to try for those of you following along. So either using a table or using your double distributive. All right, guys, how'd you do? The answers, again, I did it both ways so you can see, and I know I kind of sped it up, but hopefully the idea is there for you guys. So if you are choosing to use the table, again, remember you're going to split your problems here. One thing I'm going to point out to you guys, and I say it all the time to you, is signs still. So again, you just want to make sure that you're taking the signs there. So for example, this 4x times negative 2 is going to be that negative 8x. Same thing here. Negative 5 times negative 2 is going to be a positive 10. So again, notice how I put that plus sign to indicate that. So your signs are going to play a big role. Likewise, same thing if you notice here, I highlighted it for you. If it helps, plug it into your calculators to get that accurate answer. But again, signs. Negative 8x minus 15x is going to give me a negative 23. So again, just being cautious for that. So practice that and just be very, very aware of that your signs can change your answer. All right, hopefully that makes sense. So again, that's multiplying. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at another example with multiplying that is going to be written a little bit differently. Let's say we had something like this now, 7x minus 1 squared. Okay, what's unique about this is the squared here. Think about square. You know what that means. Square always just means something times itself. So for example, if we had something like this, 10 squared. I know a lot of you guys would automatically say, Miss K, it's 100. And you're right, because it's 10 times 10. So there's 2 of them. And so that's what I want you to think about with a problem like this. Okay, so when you see that square term, what I want you to think is expanding. So what this means is actually really 7x minus 1 times 7x minus 1. So again, it's that term times itself. And just like we did, we saw how to do this problem. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one with you, and then I'll have you guys try one on your own. But I'm going to go ahead and use double distributive, just because I do believe that is a method that you guys will start to use more frequently and automatically. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute then that 7x to both terms here. So 7 times 7 is going to give me 49. And then x times x is x squared. So again, don't leave that exponent behind. And then 7x times, and again, take that sign with it though, times negative 1 is going to be minus 7x. So again, not difficult, but definitely things to watch out for. All right, here, take the sign. You're distributing a negative 1. All right, so take that negative 1 and then distribute it to both terms. So negative 1 times 7x is going to be negative 7x. And then negative 1 times, again, take the sign. Negative 1 is going to be positive 1, so plus 1. All right, final answer here is going to be 49x squared. Next, combine your x's, so minus 14x, and then your numbers last, so plus 1. And that is my expression for 7x minus 1 squared. All right, now it's your turn. All right, guys, so on this problem here, you have your square term, so you do want to expand. You also have a minus here, so watch your signs as you guys are multiplying. And then again, practice either that double distributive or that table. All right, go. All right, guys, so whether you use the table, whether you use the double distributive, hopefully the answer you got was 25x squared minus 30x plus 9. All right, let me know if you guys have questions with that. All right, what we're going to be doing for the second part of our lesson is we're going to take those skills that we have with multiplying, with expanding, and we're going to look at them in more complex problems. So let's go ahead and add a couple of examples to our notes. Some things that I'm going to have you guys focus on are going to look like this. So you can continue this in your notes, but let's say we have a problem that is, let's say, negative. Negative 8x plus 2 times, let's say, 4x plus 9. And then let's say this is subtracting 4x squared plus 6. All right, and so again, this problem has skills that you know how to do, but we just have to break them up. So it is going to be a multi-step problem. So you'll notice here we have our multiplying binomials that we just worked on. But then we also have our subtracting of a polynomial here. So you'll notice these brackets. Remember, brackets are acting just as another set of parentheses. So let's go ahead and try this one together. For this first part here, again, you can use the method of your choice. I'm going to go ahead and use double distributive just because it is a little bit easier for myself. And then we'll go from there. So again, this one we are distributing the negative 8x to both terms. When we do that, we end up getting negative here, 32x, and then minus 72x here. All right, you'll notice that I forgot that squared, so again, just be very cautious with your exponents. So that x times x is going to give you an x squared right here. All right, so same thing, we're going to go ahead and distribute the second part of that, which is a 2. So 2 times 4x is going to give me a positive 8x. And then 2 times 9 is going to give me a positive 18. And just like we worked on before, we're going to combine these two here, so that big adding problem. This is going to be negative 32x squared. Watch your signs here. Notice you have a negative 72 and a positive 8. So again, use your calculator if that helps. This time you're going to be left with a negative 64x and then plus the 18 here. All right, so again, that's what we worked on, was multiplying our binomials. But again, what you're going to notice about this problem is that now we're going to have a second part to this. So again, that's where your knowledge of how to subtract and add polynomials is going to come into play here. So we're going to move all of this down here. So all of this is going to be shifted down. So that's the minus, and then in the parentheses, 4x squared plus 6. And then again, you would combine your like terms. Now, one thing I'm going to point out to everybody in class though, and this is something that's not happening on your homework, is, remember, this subtracting problem is subtracting all of this. It's minus the 4x squared, but it's also minus the 6. And so one thing that I was talking to you guys about in the last lesson was just making sure that you distribute that negative sign here. And so a problem like this, I would keep the first part the same. Negative 32x squared minus 64x plus 18. But then again, remember this minus sign is getting distributed to both terms. So it's going to be minus 4x squared and then minus 6. From here now is when you can go ahead and combine those like terms. So I always like to start with my x squares. So you'll notice here I have a negative 32x squared and then a negative 4x squared. And remember, we are combining. So negative 32 and negative 4 are going to combine to a negative 36x squared. All right, do the same with your x's now. So notice here I have negative 64x. No other x's, so I'm going to just leave that negative 64x. And then my last one here then are my numbers. So I have a positive 18 and a negative 6 here. And again, you are combining that. So it's going to be a positive 18 and then plus that negative 6. So really subtracting, you're going to be left with plus 12. And so that would be your final expression here. So again, it's just a combining of our skills. So I'm going to go ahead and put up one for you to try. Let's see if it makes sense to you guys. All right, so here's your problem. We have 3x plus 6 squared and then plus a negative 4x squared minus 9. So first thing I'm going to say to you guys is on a problem like this though, what you actually want to simplify first is going to be right here. And again, I will remind you of order of operations because that is actually how we're going to solve all these problems. So any problem that has parentheses or exponent, and that is right here, that exponent there. So see if you can get this. All right, ready? Go. All right, guys, there is your final answer. 5x squared plus 36x plus 27. How did you guys do? Thumbs up? Hope so. All right, we'll take a look at one last thing that I want you guys to watch out for, and then that should be enough to get you guys through homework. So with this problem, I actually want you guys to watch out for a couple things. So again, think about our order of operations. So parentheses, exponents, multiplying or dividing, adding or subtracting. All right, and so again, following order of operations, anything with a parenthesis or an exponent is going to come first. What's going to happen is some of you are going to try to multiply here. I'm going to say do not do it. So again, that exponent is going to come first. So you're going to pretend as if this 10 is not here just yet, and you are going to focus just on this part. So the exponent part. And again, you know what that means. So we talked a lot about this exponent here. Remember, squared means that there are two of them. So this problem is really saying this: x plus 1 times x plus 1. And then again, that is then being multiplied by 10. I still want you to figure out this part though. So you're going to be multiplying that. So if we continue to do this problem together, what would happen, again, if we use our double distributive or the table, you would end up getting x squared plus 1x and then 1x plus 1. All right, this problem then becomes x squared plus 2x. Think about when you're combining, I have 1x and 1x, and then plus 1. From here, after you multiply that, you can then go ahead and bring down this 10. So we always want to break down our problem into easier steps for us. So again, focus just on the expanding here. Multiply that, and then bring down that 10 last. And then what this becomes is that distributive problem. So this is 10 times x squared, so 10x squared. 10 times 2x, so plus 20x. And then 10 times 1, so plus 10. And so that would be our answer there. So let's go ahead then and take this and add one more step of complexity to it. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at that same skill set and then add one last thing to it. So I'm going to give you guys this problem. Let's do -8 times 2x plus 3 squared, and then plus 5x minus 6. All right, see if you can get that. So notice this is the same problem that we just had. We're squaring that binomial here and then multiplying second. But then we're also going to be combining this. So again, adding all the skill sets together. All right, try this last problem. All right, guys, so this is your answer here. The numbers are a little bit bigger, however, you guys can still do it. But again, just notice that it was multiple steps here. So we had to break this down. We talked about making sure that we broke down and expanded that squared term. And then again, we multiply by that negative number secondary. After we do that, we're going to bring down that last step, which was adding our polynomial or combining our like terms. And so the final answer that you do get here is this -32x squared minus 91x minus 78. So not super difficult, but again, a lot of steps to watch out for. So don't be afraid to use your calculator, and then also come back and watch the videos if they do help. But all right, guys, you got this. All right, guys, that's it for our lesson for this week. As always, if you have questions, please let me know. And I will see you guys next week.
Make sure you're doing it every day. Don't wait till the end of the week to get it filled in, because then it's too much work and then you don't want to do it.
All right, bye, guys.